Now, before we dig deeper, I again want to show this pre-rendering of multiple instances of this page in action. And for this, again, we can run this npm run build command here to build this for production. So npm run build. And what this will do is it will create an optimized production build again, pre-rendering all the pages it needs to pre-render. And we see what it did here again. We see that it pre-rendered a couple of pages. It generated 5 pages in the end here. We see that for the starting page, for /nothing, so for this index.js file, it recognized this 10 seconds revalidation period. And we see that for this dynamic page here, it generated 3 instances for P1, P2, P3, which makes a lot of sense because these are the param values I'm returning here in getStaticPaths. It also pre-generated the 404 page just as it did before already. Now we can also see this if we dive into the next folder again, into server pages. Here we see the HTML files for those different parameters. We also see the JSON files for preloading that data if we would navigate to such a page through a link. So after we already are on the page, not for the initial page load. And if we have a look at those HTML files, in there, of course, ultimately somewhere we will see our product one text. Here it is. So we see that here as well. Now I can also show you that prefetching of data though, because in index.js we do render some links. So now if I do run npm start here, if I do that to start that production server on our local machine with that build project, if I reload, we got these clickable links. And if you now open the developer tools here and go to the network tab, if I now reload localhost 3000, you'll see something interesting. You see here are requests to P1 JSON, P2 JSON, and P3 JSON. And if you click on them, you see what was fetched. And in the end here, it prefetched the props for the page that would need to be loaded if you click on one of these links. So in the end here, it prefetched that data, even before I hovered over the links, just because I'm on this page. Now, the exact point of time when data is prefetched, that's something figured out and done by Next.js. The important part for us here is that it does that prefetching for us. Now, when we now click on a link, we're not sending a new request to the server and load the pre-rendered HTML file. Instead, we stay in this single page application now. We stay here in this React application, which was loaded and hydrated after this initial request. So in the end now, JavaScript will render a new page for us, just as it would do in a regular React app without Next.js. But the data needed for this page is coming from that prefetched JSON file, which it loaded and read under the hood on our behalf. So that it doesn't need to fetch the data after we navigated to that page, but so that the data is already there when we do navigate, to show this final product one page even faster. And that's another neat feature built into Next.js, which we get for free, so to say. Now let's again explore this fallback key here in greater detail.